guillotine, basic guillotine. It's a front choke. It's when I'm facing the person in some way. We know the strongest choke, best choke is when we're behind them and we have this rear naked choke, but guess what? Just as good, I believe, is the guillotine choke. So, whether she's going for a takedown, whether I have clinch and I'm feeding it, whether she's just wrapped around me and she's finding her head there, there's gonna be a lot of little points that I make in this guillotine that even if you have a pretty good guillotine, you're gonna add these little parts and you're gonna see what I'm talking about. So get this first step down, the basic guillotine, because everything else we do on the ground after this is gonna come off these things. What is the most powerful part of our bodies? Someone tell me, what is the most important part in every single submission that we have? What has to be used? Our hips and legs. And the strongest lift that we have as human beings is a deadlift, and you're gonna see where this comes in, our hip movement. So that's gonna be a huge part. What is the most sensitive part of our body? The part that we do not want hit and touched. What is it? I'm looking for two answers on this. What part don't we want hit? He says throat, our neck. Yes, understand there's two things we need to defend in fighting. So doing a self-defense is first of all our neck. If you are put unconscious, if somebody has their arms around your neck and you pass out, you cannot fight afterwards. You are out. Great, you break a bone. Listen, if someone breaks my bone, I'm still fighting for my life in a street fight. And I'd like to think the same for you guys. If someone breaks a joint, a finger, an arm, you're still going to be alive, still cognizant to fight. But if someone chokes you out, then what? Abduction situations, rape situations, fight situations, I don't know, all these different situations. If you're out, then what? So we always have to remember to protect our necks. Make it a point. So guess what? We're going to attack people's necks. The other part I was looking for is our chin line, this nerve right here. The knockouts come from these. This is the nerve line that holds our chin holds all the nerves that we get knocked out. If you're gonna get hit here, just for future. If you're gonna get hit here in the head, get hit up here. This is where you don't wanna get hit. So our neck and our chin, we have to defend, and that's why you're taught whenever you grapple, you're always tight, wherever you're at. You're always protecting that neck wherever you're at. Whenever you're grappling, you're always protecting your neck. You're never letting anybody touch your neck. That's why we attack people's neck. Because after you get something on their neck, that's a threat. So you're gonna see how this game kind of plays. So now that we know what she has to defend, we're gonna attack the most sensitive part of her body. So if we're not punching and elbowing and attacking her chin, we're gonna be choking it out. Okay, cool. What we're gonna do is this, we're gonna feed it. We're just gonna start feeding it. She could just be tackling me and I face over top, cool. But I just want you guys to start right here and understanding, controlling the top of somebody's head. This is gonna be for the ground too. When you control this top part of somebody's head, you're controlling their spine, which is the other part of their power. When you control their hips and their spine, what else matters? You guys ever try to lift have you ever tried to lift with somebody holding your head? Try to lift weight with somebody holding your head? No, it's not possible. So just little things like controlling somebody's head, whether on the ground or not, makes a big difference. So right here from the back of her neck, put your head up. She's gonna be able to come up. But just with one hand, if I control here, put your head up, it doesn't do it. It's not because like I'm using some kind of strength. It's I'm literally on the top of the back of her head. She has no strength to come up. So just making a point there because it's gonna play a role on the ground as well. So we're gonna start right here in a basic clinch, and we're gonna feed it under our armpit. We're feeding. We're feeding. A lot of people, when they're aggressive in fighting, especially people that don't know how to fight, they're aggressive forward, they're silly, they don't know how to fight. That's why they do fight. We don't need to fight on the street. We don't have time for that crap. It's a self-defense. People that fight are angry. They don't train in this stuff. We do. We're not out there trying to pick fights. We have better things to do. We want to go grapple with our friends and stuff like that. People are very careless when they grapple. That's why those of you that have been doing grappling for a long time, when new people come in, you chill, you let them make the errors, you let them go all crazy, you let them do what they do naturally, because naturally as humans we don't know how to fight, and then you take advantage of it. The beauty of jiu-jitsu. You guys know exactly what I'm talking about. Controlling, I'm gonna feed. Now my main goal is to get this blade right here. So when you first taught the guillotine, you learned to put it under, put the arm here, cool. No. You guys are gonna be tight, and your main goal is to get this blade right here. This is a huge part of the game, guys. This is why I get people. Is getting that blade to her neck, because once that blade is there to her neck, the rest of that blade of the arm is gonna follow. Especially when I'm controlling the top of the head and they're weak. Move your hips all around you want, run around with your body. If I'm controlling this spine, and I have part of this blade on your neck, I'm going to finish it. I feed, and look, this hand right here is gonna start finding her neck right here. And notice how as I'm feeding, my shoulder is forward. And the biggest mistake people make with the guillotine is their shoulder stays back and they forget how big this shoulder part right here could be over the top and already trapping the top of the head. People make this mistake all the time. They get the guillotine and they're here. And they're wondering why they're not finishing when all they have to do is just get the shoulder forward, and it completely takes so much more power away from them, and actually gets on the back of their throat, which completely makes the choke full. So there's so many benefits, and people just forget about this one little shoulder move. And if you've seen certain fights, there's people that attack the shoulder. It's huge. You get side control on somebody, put the shoulder pressure down. You guys need to get used to this, okay? So I feed, I get this blade already pressing, and notice how I'm tight. I'm tight and my elbows are in here. We're weak as individuals when we're out here. We're never like this in a fight in any way. Nothing ever good comes from this. Our power comes when our body's in tight and our back and our lats and our core's involved. I don't want to be out here. So I'm here and I'm tight, I'm staying strong, and look how my chin and my shoulders are up, and I'm bringing the shoulder through, and look how I'm just taking this blade and feeding it through. The shoulder's coming over top. So right now, underneath it looks like this. My thumb is up. Why? Because that's the blade. This is the best choking part you have on your body. Not here, not coming up here, not coming up here. This is what you want to do. And in a second, I'm gonna make a big point. We're not just gonna be coming through the neck, we're not just gonna be coming through the neck here. We're gonna be going up through. That's the choke. I bet you Professor Greg over here gets a lot of his lapel chokes because he's not going through here, he's going up and through and ripping. And seriously, that's the choke. He knows exactly what I'm talking. He's laughing out of pleasure. He's thinking about all the people that are making noises and gargling. Greg, you are a sick person. So we're here. We're feeding through shoulder. I really want you to think about your shoulder going over top. Because even if I don't have it in yet, I am over top of her. She can't be postured up, so I have time to even just kill here and start doing other stuff. Whether it's take down, grab leg, whether it's taking back, you still have other things here just by controlling the spine. So really get the shoulder over, and that's where we're gonna start working. And see how this blade, at no point is my hand, this blade, not in contact with her. I need it. I'm gonna shoot it through, and like I said, this thumb's gonna be up. You're tight, my elbows are pinching in. I know it looks like my elbow's up, but my elbow's in, it's pressed to her face. So right now, her head's coming in, this side of her face into my body, stuck, and then the blade's going completely around her neck. And this strong elbow, so I'm not going like this elbow's keeping her tight. And guess what? When I bring that elbow in, that's what's engaging my whole core to keep her stuck. So there alone, she's already feeling the choke and the pressure. And I haven't even got my legs involved yet. And like we said, the strongest lift you can have, and notice how I'm bending down. Don't ever set up a guillotine like this. Don't be up here. You want to get people down, boom, you want to be heavy. Because there's 10-finger chokes here where you can get this. I got a chance to train with BJ Penn before one of his, you guys know who BJ Penn is? He actually was really legit. Like, I know he's lost recently, but at one point he was legit. And his 10-finger choke stuff, that I'll show later as we build. I got to train with him for one of his fights against Sean Shirk. I was in his training camp. He paid me to go out to Hawaii, and I was in his training camp for 3 months. And he showed a lot of cool stuff with this, so I'll get to that in a little bit. We'll calm down. My grip is here. Because guess what? This space where her head is, watch what happens. It's not just going like this, what people think about. Look what happens when my elbow goes in. There's no space. Just like when we get a triangle choke, we're not just here, we're pinching our knees to close that gap. It's the same thing here. I grab my hand, I'm not grabbing my fingers. Right there on the wrist and that blade. And now I drive forward and lift up, and she feels the choke. So the main things I want you to think about on this is 1, keeping her posture down, shoulder coming up, blade, thumb coming through. That's my sensor, the sensor of it. Boom. I want to see your shoulder back. There's a huge difference. You guys can't see it, but the top of her neck shows here. I don't want the neck to show. I'm staying tight. My elbows come in. Tight. Tight. You see how her body, just watch how her body moves. Just you bring the elbow in. It's a huge difference. And It's easy. This isn't like some crazy moves, guys. This is basic technique of how your skeletal structure works. Now, stay tight. Look at my chin. Our heads are part of our body. I want my chin involved. I want points of contact. I don't want to be like this. Chin involved, head involved, always points of pressure. And then we'll have walk up, using the deadlift, and bring it up. I'm talking right now, but I would be here. Many of you, every person I rolled with last time I was here know what this feeling is. I'm not saying that as disrespect. I'm saying you know what I'm talking about. So you're about to deal with the partner. You're going to be here, shoulder over top, we through, chin down. I want you to bring up. I want to see this. Stay tight. Elbows come in, pinch. Bring my hips through, and I'm going to lean. Whatever side I have her head in, I'm bringing the elbow down and turning. You know what's awesome? When you choke somebody out, when you're also, in a way, cranking their neck. And I'm not saying this like, oh, what? A neck crank? That's so messed up. Not when you have a choke. You have a choke, and then there's nothing mean about that. There's nothing evil about it. Don't think about it that way. You have a choke, and to make that choke more beneficial, you're gonna make them feel it in their spine, in their neck, you know what I'm saying? Right here in the vertebrae. And it makes people really just mentally click out a lot sooner because their neck's being cranked and they have no circulation. There's a trachea and 2 carotid arteries. What we're doing is not just taking out these carotid arteries where we can't breathe, but we also have huge pressure into the trachea. 2 carotid arteries are being choked, and then there's pressure on the spine, and it's complete dominating the spine and the neck, the most vulnerable part of the human body. Every single person I have ever met and seen in my life has to breathe through their neck. Some of you guys are gonna say no. I've seen people that smoke cigarettes that have holes in their neck. Yes, you're still gonna cover that hole up.
Kyle, do me a favor, get in the center right here.
Yeah, my bad. Last time I show it, we're gonna get a partner, drill it for like 2 minutes, and then bring it back in. I don't want to talk the whole time. I just want to make a big part about this first part because everything else we do from here on the ground is going to stem from this and just see how it all relates. And what I meant by the trachea choke is sometimes I'll be here and they won't be here right away. They'll turn their head in, so I'll put my body over and I'll get it. Just tap when you feel, Katie. The trachea choke right there. Some of you guys are like, what? I'll show you it after when I come around if you really want to feel what this is. This is what BJ Penn went over a lot. It's a 10-finger choke. But we're going to get under the armpit. Stop. Boom. Go tight. Grab here. It's a huge point. This is a huge point. Don't. Everybody look how I am. Monkey grip. The strongest grip you can possibly have. These are weak. The fingers come out. Strongest grip there is. Watch this hold. And think about this blade not going through her neck straight through, but up and through. You guys are going to be great. The reason you're black belts here, I know them. Boom. I got a chance to grapple with them. The reason they're good, it's not because they're like the best athletics people in the world. They just understand how the body works. And as you guys get better and better at jiu-jitsu, you're going to realize the athletic and the strength and the speed, save that for last. Develop that last. Develop understanding how the human body works, how your skeletal system can fight their skeletal system. When you grapple people, look at it as skeletal versus skeletal, and watch how much better you get. Strength will play a role later. Some of you are newer and you feel like you have to strength everything. Put your pride and ego aside and just learn what is working. And then when it's time to take that strength out later, that speed, that athleticism, you have the technique, that is scary. That's the scary people in jiu-jitsu. I say this for a reason. I guarantee you, every higher belt in here is very smart, especially when it comes to the human body. They understand how it works. And some of you guys are thinking like, man, I'm not very smart. I don't know if I would know. Every single person, if you keep training this, if you're on the mat constantly practicing this stuff, I've never seen somebody that continuously trains and spends the time on the mat not get better. I've never seen that in 14 years of training. I've been training every day of my life for 14 years, all over. And I've never seen I see most people quit. Most people quit because it's a patient game. It's an ego testing game. And people that stick with it, they're those people that quit are going, oh, I used to do jiu-jitsu. Oh man, I wish I stuck with it. I get those messages all the time. Yeah, I wish you did too. Through injury, through being embarrassed in the beginning because you weren't that good. You're usually the best athlete growing up, and now you're getting attacked by a 120 pound. You know what I'm saying? It's the truth. Get over that. Okay, one more time. Sorry. Here, you're gonna get with your partner. You're gonna get them right here. Boom to the face. And then you're gonna start your guillotine. Get a partner. I'm gonna be coming around and watching. Let's go. Hurry up.